Dear students, yesterday we were talking about the stereochemistry of the E2 elimination reaction, and we discussed some examples in which we studied about the regioselectivity of the reaction particularly. Today we will discuss about the orientation of elimination reaction. Again, uh, regioselectivity will be discussed in this particular section, in which we will discuss about the various factors that will control the product formation during E2 elimination reaction, or simply the elimination reaction if we particularly say about it. Generally, when we talk about elimination reaction, there is a reaction on your screen. You can see it, that the alpha carbon, which is having the living group as X, it may be any living group, and at the beta carbon you are having hydrogen which is attached, and that can be eliminated out. So basically, for example, this X is any halogen, and at beta carbon we are having hydrogen, and we talk about the dehydrohalogenation reaction. At that time we can say that this particular hydrogen can be eliminated out from this beta carbon, and this hydrogen can also be eliminated out. So which product will be synthesized? So yesterday I told you about it, that a rule which is called as the Saitchev rule, that govern the product formation during this kind of elimination reaction. So this beta hydrogen will be eliminated out, because after elimination of this beta hydrogen and this halogen, you will get a alkene, and that alkene will be more substituted. And when we talk about the more substituted alkene, we must be considering the hyperconjugation effect in that alkene, because the hyperconjugation is a stabilizing factor for that particular alkene. You can see that this is the CH3 group which is present in this type of alkene. This is another CH3 group, and this is another CH3 group. So this is a case of tri-substituted alkene that have been synthesized by the elimination of beta hydrogen, which is on the left hand side, not on the right hand side, right? So more substituted alkene will be synthesized, and this rule that govern the formation of highly substituted alkene in case of elimination reaction, this rule is called as the Saitchev rule. So this is the rule that govern the elimination reaction, and that will tell you about the regioselectivity of the reaction, or it will tell you about the orientation of the elimination reaction. So why this is stabilized? Why this alkene? If we particularly concerned about this alkene, this particular alkene is more stable as comparison to the alkene which will be synthesized if the beta hydrogen on the right hand side will be eliminated out, right? So in that case, this carbon and this carbon, these two carbon will bear the positive charge. At that time it will be having only a single substituent. At that time we can say that that particular alkene will not be stabilized, but this alkene is stabilized. Reason being, this is the carbon, this is the carbon, and these all carbons are containing the hydrogen, right? So when we talk about the hyperconjugation effect, because of the hyperconjugation it will have more hyperconjugative structure, and because of that reason this particular alkene will be stabilized. So this will be the major product at that time, right? Minor product will be the least substituted alkene. So this is the orientation of the elimination reaction. So the first rule that I was telling you about it, that the Saitchev rule, called as the Saitchev's rule, which will govern the orientation of the elimination reaction. So this is again example, that this is your hydrogen, this is your hydrogen, and this is your leaving group. So when it will be treated with the base, at that time this product can be synthesized, and this will be the major product as comparison to this one, because this can also be synthesized. And what is the reason that this product is a minor product as comparison to this one. Reason being, this is a tri-substituted alkene and this alkene is basically a disubstituted alkene. So as comparison to this alkene, this is more stable because of the more hyperconjugating structure, because of the hyperconjugation effect, and that's why we can say that this will be the major product during the course of reaction. Now sometime Brad's rule will also be followed during the elimination reaction, and that will also tell you about the orientation of the elimination reaction. And what is that rule? According to this rule, we cannot form the double bond on the bridge head carbon. For example, this is a case in which this is the bromine, this is the leaving group, and here is the carbon that is containing hydrogen, and here is a carbon that is also containing the hydrogen. So when we talk about the elimination reaction, when we talk about the dehydrohalogenation reaction in this particular case, we can say that this hydrogen will be eliminated out and this bromine will be eliminated out, and there will be a double bond between this carbon and this carbon, right? So this product will be synthesized only, and no product formation like this. What is the reason behind that? The reason behind that is again the Brad's rule, that this is the bridge head carbon, this is the position where the double bond cannot exist, double bond cannot be synthesized, right? For example, this is the case where we cannot have any elimination reaction, because the elimination of this particular bromine will create the double bond either at this position or at this position or at this position, and Brad's rule will not allow the formation of this kind of double bond. So this is the another rule that governs the orientation of the elimination reaction. Now we have certain cases that I have already told you about the Sertchev rule, I have told you about the Brad's rule, and I have also told you about the Hofmann rule. Hofmann rule means formation of the least substituted alkene. So there are cases in which the Sertchev product will not always be the major product. It means we will get the Hofmann product. And what is the reason behind that? As we know that Sertchev products are major, they are more stable because highly substituted alkene will be synthesized in that case, so they will be stable. Then why Sertchev rule, the Sertchev product? In my next slide, I will say that this S product, Sertchev product means S product. S products will not be the major product. Instead, the Hofmann product will be the major product. So there are certain cases. I will discuss about these cases, that what are the parameters that will tell you that Sertchev product is not the major. Instead, the Hofmann product will be the major product. So the first case is when the base is bulky. We have simple bases and we have bulkier bases. So at the time when we use bulky bases, at that time Hofmann product will be major product as comparison to Sertchev product. The second case, when the leaving group is bulky or it is a poor leaving group, right? The leaving group is bulky or it is poor leaving group. For example, we have Nr3 positive, we have fluorine, we have Sr2 positive. These are, for example, Nr3 positive, if I am particularly concerned about, this is a case of leaving group which is poor as well as it is a bulky leaving group. So this kind of leaving group is present in the substrate. At that time, Hofmann product will be the major and the Sertchev product will be the minor product. Third condition, if I am particularly talking about the third condition, steric hindrance at the beta carbon atom, right? Steric hindrance at the beta carbon atom means if the beta carbon to the eliminating group that is having steric hindrance at that time, elimination will be following the Hofmann path, not the Sedgwick path. At the fourth, if C double bond C or C double bond O means if there is already unsaturation present in the substrate, at that time Hofmann rule will also be followed. The first example, that is use of bulky bases, is on your screen and you can see it. This is the kind of base, this is particularly the kind of base you are using, and this is the kind of substrate we are using. When this particular substrate will undergo dehydrohalogenation reaction, that you can see that this is the carbon which is bearing the bromine, this is the leaving group, and this is the beta carbon which is having the leaving group, this is again the beta carbon which is having the leaving group, and this is again the beta carbon which is having the leaving group. So at that time you can clearly see that when the hydrogen from this particular position will be eliminated out, it will give rise to the Sedgwick product, highly substituted alkene will be synthesized. But you can see it that only 27.5% of the more substituted alkene is being synthesized in this reaction, because here we are having bulky base. What is the reason behind that? If we are using bulky base at that time, Sedgwick product will not be the measure, instead Hofmann product is the measure product, and you can see that the Hofmann product, that the least substituted alkene, is prepared in 72.5%. The reason behind that is this is bulkier, so it is easily attacking on this carbon because this carbon is not having steric hindrance. So this particular base, can attack at this particular carbon more easily as comparison to this particular carbon. So this is the reason behind that in this Hofmann product will be the measure as comparison to the Sedgwick product. This is a case where we were talking about the poor leaving group. We were talking about the bulky leaving group. For example, this is a case of Hofmann elimination reaction. You have studied about it in your BSc or in MSc classes, that this is a particular case of Hofmann elimination reaction in which this is particularly a quaternary ammonium hydroxide, and this will soon undergo the elimination reaction, and this is the beta carbon and this is again the beta carbon. So this OH negative can attack on this particular carbon as well as this carbon, but you can clearly see that here you are having the branching, and this is the leaving group. At that time it can easily attack on this particular carbon and it will abstract the H from this one, and the carbon hydrogen bond will be shifted to form the carbon-carbon double bond with migration of this particular bond, that is the bond between carbon and nitrogen, to the nitrogen, right? So it will be eliminated out from this one, and this product, that is the Sedgwick product, is only 6%, you can see it, and the Hofmann product is again 94%. So this is second case in which we are having a poor leaving group. This is the poor leaving group, or we are having a bulky leaving group. So this is another case in which the elimination reaction will follow the Hofmann path, not the Sedgwick path. Now we were talking about that hindrance at the beta carbon atom, steric hindrance at the beta carbon atom. At that time we can see that when the case is there, it will attack at this particular position. For example, this is a case when we talk about this particular reaction. At that time we can see that this is the beta carbon and this is again the beta carbon. When the base is going to attack at these beta carbons, at that time we can see that here you are having steric hindrance, because this is a bulky group, CS3 group is present, and this is again a CS3 group at this particular beta carbon atom. So no doubt it will more easily attack at this particular beta carbon and will abstract the hydrogen, and there is again a formation of Hopman product instead of Sitchef1. So this is the another case. This is the third case in which we were discussing about the steric hindrance at the beta carbon atom. These are the reactions in which we are comparing the ordinary and the bulky bases. For example, this is a case in which we are using the ordinary base, and this is the case where we are using the bulky base. You can clearly see in this you are getting this product, and in this reaction you are getting this product. This is Sitchef product major, and this is Hopman product major in this particular case, right? So this is the beauty of this particular reaction, that how the orientation of elimination reaction will be governed by different type of the parameters that will be followed during the course of this reaction. And the last one we were discussing about that if any double bond, that may be a carbon-carbon double bond or that may be a carbon-oxygen double bond, if already present in case of the substrate at that time, again because of the conjugation, Hopman product will be synthesized as compared to the Sitchef product, right? So these are the different factors on which the regioselectivity, if I am talking about, of particularly E2 elimination reaction will depend. These are the typical bases that are used during E2 reaction, right? You can see it on the screen that these are the different type of bases that can be used, that can be utilized during the course of E2 elimination reaction. Now we want to talk you about the competitive reaction of the E2 elimination reaction. As you know that E2 elimination reaction, the competition reaction of this particular elimination is the SN2, that is nucleophilic substitution bimolecular reaction. On your screen you can see that these are the different type of the alkyl halides. This is primary, secondary and tertiary, and this is the increasing rate of E2 reaction, and this is the increasing order of SN2 rate. How we can say that this is the increasing rate of E2 reaction, that this is the tertiary halide which is having the highest rate of E2 elimination reaction. Reason being, in transition state there is a formation of carbon-carbon multiple bond, right? So when we are having tertiary alkyl halide at that time, the transition state will be more favored at that time. Reason being, in transition state we have started the formation of carbon-carbon multiple bond. It means the transition state will be alkene like, and you know that highly substituted alkene will be stabilized, that will be more stable as comparison to lower least substituted. So we can clearly say that going from primary to tertiary, the rate of E2 elimination reaction will be increased, while if we talk about the SN2 reaction, in case of that one, you know, backside attack is being done on the carbon which is bearing the leaving group. So because of the hindrance at this particular carbon, the SN2 reaction will be with lower rate as comparison to if we are having the primary substrate. So this is the reason behind that, and with E2 reaction the SN2 reaction will complete, and that will depend upon the condition that we have taken, that will also depend upon the substrate we have taken for this particular reaction. So that's all about this particular E2 reaction, if I am particularly talking about. Now there are some examples, and when we talk about these examples, that will let you know about the regioselectivity of this particular reaction. For example, we are having this is a example. This is, you know, C, CS3, this is bromine. And to this C, we are having CH2 and CS3 group which is attached. And here we are having methyl group. So this is a kind of substrate. You can see it on the screen. And when this is allowed to react with any base, at that time you can see that this carbon is bearing the bromine. And when we talk about this particular carbon, at that time we can clearly see that what will happen, how it will undergo the dehydrohalogenation reaction, how it can be synthesized. This is the hydrogen which is attached here with. So this hydrogen can be eliminated out and this bromine can be eliminated out from this one. So when we talk about the product formation during this course of reaction, we can say that two products will be synthesized. And what are these two products? These are CS3, CH, double bond, C, CS3, CS3. This will be the S product, right? And Hopen product can also be synthesized. What will be that product? CS3, CH2, C, CS3 and double bond CH2. This product will be called as H product. So these two products can be synthesized from the substrate that I have written just. Now what will be the ratio of these two products when we change the base? Because we were talking about the effect of base on the orientation of elimination reaction. So my dear student, note it down that when the base is sodium ethoxide, mention it, when the base is sodium ethoxide, at that time the S product will be 70% and the H product will be 30%. Second, when the base is tert butoxide, at that time the S product will be 20% and the H product will be 72%. Right? When we are having base as Et3CO negative, this is somewhat more bulky as comparison to the previous two. At that time, my dear student, note it down that the S product will only be 12% and 88% will be your H product. So this is the orientation, that how we can have different type of the orientation during this particular course of reaction when we change the base. Similarly, I am drawing some more substrate on the screen and I will let you know that what will be the major product during this particular course of reaction. Now the next substrate will be C. When we talk about, for example, this is the substrate CH3, CH2, CH and CH3, and this is the leaving group X. Now you can see that this is the leaving group X, and this is the carbon which is bearing the hydrogen, and this is again a carbon which is bearing the hydrogen. So hydrogen can be eliminated from this carbon, as well as it can also be eliminated from this carbon. Now two products will be synthesized from this particular substrate. And what are these two products? I am just writing it down on the screen that these are the two products: CH3 CH double bond CH CH3. This is the first product, that is S product, and the other product H product will be CH3 CH2 CH double bond CH2. This is H product. Now as we have X leaving group, and the base which we use in this reaction is EtO negative, right? This is the base that we have utilized, EtO negative. When the X group is Br, at that time the S product will be 81% and the H product will be only 19% if we are using bromine as a leaving group. Now when the X is SMe3 positive, at that time the S product will be 26% and H product will be 74%. When the X group is NMe3 positive, at that time the S product will only be 5% and the H product will be 95%. So this is the case that how the orientation of elimination reaction will be governed by different type of the eliminating group, different type of the conditions, that crowding at the beta carbon, and the bases we have selected for this particular reaction. Now one more example I want to write it on the screen, that will have the effect of leaving group, and you can do it with your own. And what is that? This is the substrate CH3 CH2 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 CH CH3, and this is your leaving group. Now my question is, if the leaving group is this X is iodine, chlorine, fluorine, and the base that is used is respectively MEO negative in the solvent MEOH. So these are the conditions, that the leaving group is iodine, chlorine and fluorine, and the base oblique the solvent that have been used for this particular reaction is MEO negative in presence of methanol, MEOH. At that time, what will be different type of products that will be synthesized during this particular reaction? You will have to solve this question, and all the parameters that we discussed today, that will be in your mind while solving this particular question. So this is all about the E2 elimination reaction, its orientation, its stereochemistry and its regioselectivity. Tomorrow we will discuss about the even mechanism, its mechanism and its parameters and different factors that affect this particular reaction.